Welcome to the Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business Podcast. My name is Sally Harrison, and I'm the CEO of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. Today, we are in the University of Phoenix podcast studio, and joining me as today's guest is Eric Hyde with International Minute Press of Mesa. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you so much, Sally. I appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely.
You're a fantastic president of the chamber.
Oh, didn't even pay him to say that.
It's really, truly an honor. It is great to be back with you.
Well, we're glad you're here. We've got a lot to talk about because we don't all know everything that we need to know about International Minute Press. So let's get started. Eric, I understand that International Minute Press is a family-owned business. Tell us about the history of the company.
The company goes back to 2002,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a family-owned business initially.
Mm-hmm.
And about 5 years ago, my family purchased the business and has been involved with it since. So it's not only a family-owned business, but it's one that reaches out not only throughout Mesa's business community, but throughout the entire valley and beyond.
That's great. So we've talked about this a little bit. In today's business environment, you don't always get a live person when you answer the phone. Talk about that, because I know it's something that's important to you.
To us, the critical piece in today
Mm-hmm.
is for people to get personal assistance and service.
Mm-hmm.
And so our phone is always answered by a live, capable person. That is almost religion in our business.
That's
because it is so common today that people call up, get a call center
Mm-hmm.
someplace in India, the Philippines, Pakistan, wherever, and we do not do that. We have people who are experienced, who answer the phone, and whatever the question is, if it's just for a referral, if it's how do I fix my files so that they're printable, or I need to reorder something, a live person answers that phone every time.
Well, you said capable, so it's nice that it's not just somebody that's answering the phone and then trying to find answers, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we have in our business, in our staff, we've been very selective about who we hire,
Mm-hmm.
and we have people that represent 75 years of printing experience.
Wow.
So they're experienced, they know how files work, they know how printing works, and frankly, they also know how things can go wrong, so that when somebody, which happens a lot
Sure.
in the business, calls up and says, hey, I have a file, I pulled the artwork directly from the internet, it's pixelated, you tell them, we don't think this is really going to work, but here's how we can make it work,
Mm-hmm.
and here's how we can help you get to a quality product, and a quality product fast.
Nice.
The other thing about our business is there's a lot of internet competition out there.
Sure.
And frequently the challenge with internet players is, one, they don't have experts to answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's difficult to get a live person.
Yeah.
Three, the quality of what they do is often not exactly what people want.
Mm-hmm.
Four, it's not a personal service. It's, hey, if your product fits our template, great, we'll give you that. And then the fourth thing, and this comes up a lot locally, is that when people move to an internet company,
Mm-hmm.
they are charged massive dollars for printing frequently.
Uh-huh.
Well, in our case, the most they're going to pay is $12.95 across the whole valley, and even in some cases, even across states,
Uh-huh.
the charges are dramatically smaller.
Nice.
So it's local service, it's expert service, and it's fast. The other differentiation point with internet players, and frankly other businesses, is that we can turn things in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Frequently, if you contact a site or you send a request, it may take 3 or 4 weeks to get things back. Case in point, one of the chamber referrals that we got last
Mm-hmm.
year, which has now been with us for a year,
Uh-huh.
said, we use an internet site for our printing, for our over 55 community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem was that by the time they got them their content, it was 3 weeks later before it was printed,
Oh.
and the content was completely out of date.
Mm.
In our case, they can go up to a day before that thing is printed,
Mm-hmm.
get it to us, we turn it around in 24 hours. Guess what? The content's fresh, and you didn't have to pay for shipping.
That's awesome. Well, I understand that you design and print virtually any type of printed marketing materials. Talk
Yes.
about that, because I know that, you print and turn things around quickly, but talk about the types of printing that you do.
It can be anything from a business card, which is a very common thing still today,
Mm-hmm.
despite iPhones. It can be uh, trifold materials, rack cards that go on racks.
Mm-hmm.
It can be stand-up banners.
Mm-hmm.
It can be banners that basically go vertically. Office magnets, magnets that go on refrigerators, magnets that go on cars. Literally anything that you use to market your business that goes into print. The other thing that we do, because we have a heritage from our family
Mm-hmm.
of about 20 years of experience in promotional products.
Okay.
Our previous company is now part of a little company people may have heard of called Vistaprint.
Mm.
So we're experts at how to produce, pardon me, produce, print, and develop and choose promotional products that people hand out.
Very cool.
Like you do in the chamber.
Yeah. Nice. Talk about the online portal. I read about the online portal that you have for, well, more returning customers, right? So they already have information in there. Talk about that.
We have a number of customers from law firms to healthcare companies that have repeated orders, that have orders that they need to do frequently.
Mm-hmm.
What we do for those customers is we set up the artwork and the product on the site so that basically all you have to do is click on that, provide a quantity, and that thing goes into a digital printer directly.
Nice.
So that is a process that we set up and can get things repeated quickly. The other application of that type of portal is for a business card. So somebody like a large law firm that somebody might know here, won't mention their name, has their logo, has their format, has the information that they need,
just
the
need
paper type and
another
all that,
new member.
and they just put in a name or a phone number or a change. That thing goes directly to digital printing and is produced that day.
Nice.
So it makes it simple for the customer. They don't have to try to figure out, geez, how do I pick a font? How do I determine what phone number to use? It's right there in front of them, and it goes directly to us. And if we have a question, we call them. We don't just email them.
That's great. Talk about the digital backup that you have, because it sounds to me, as a company, it sounds very important to have your information backed up where you don't have to worry about it, and you're not trying to track it on your own computer in your own office.
Yes, that's a great point. What we have is for the beginning of when the business started, a backup service that retains terabytes of data. So all of the images, the final images that people selected, all the components of different images for their business, their logo, all of that's maintained and backed up. So when people call us, excuse me, when people call us and need their information, we have it. And frankly, if they need it for some other printing job or some other place, or they move, we provide that free of charge.
That's great.
Another example, and probably not one that I like to talk about a lot, back in 2018, like some other businesses in Mesa, we had a ransomware attack. So basically, they froze all of our data, including terabytes of data.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
In less than 4 hours, we were back up and running.
Wow.
And all of that artwork was backed up and retrieved within about a day.
Wow.
So we had virtually no downtime. By the way, didn't pay any ransom.
Good for you.
And we're back in business.
That's awesome.
Just as a business, one business owner to others, I'd recommend highly have a backup for your main data and anything that's important, because you may be hitting the ransomware.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know.
And they don't just go after really, really big companies. And I think that's kind of, people think that out there, that they're just going to go after companies that have the big, paycheck at the end.
Exactly. They will go after all sorts of companies. And frankly, just in the community here, I've heard of everything from hospitals to doctors to dentists to business owners, automotive owners, and so on, who have had those requests and have had their data frozen. So it's a great thing to look out for and try to prevent, but at least have the ability to survive quickly if that happens.
Good tip. So you have a lot going on, because you've shared some with us in the past few weeks and talked about how you've got some, new plans. Talk about the future of International Minute Press.
What we're focused on is growth. Mesa and Arizona as a whole, and certainly the Valley, are great places to do business.
Yeah.
There's a tremendous amount of growth in it.
Lots of
So
opportunity.
what we're doing is that we're reaching out much more extensively through the internet, through Google Ads. As an example, our Google Ads were presented 51,000 times in 2019. It's going to be 200,000 times in 2020. So that when people are looking for printing on the web, they find us in Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly is greater participation in programs like the Chamber.
Great.
The Chamber has a fantastic group of lead generators, of networks, of opportunities, of meetings, and of events that we'd like to participate in because we found that they have great value.
Awesome.
So that's the other thing.
Good to
and
hear.
Then frankly, basically just getting our business, our value in front of people that literally drive by us every day and that we see every day, because not everybody does that connection. And so there's going to be a lot more outreach. We've also added some staff, some experts who have the ability to answer the phone with a smile and with the capability of knowing what's good art, what could be improved, and how do we quickly get things done for our customers. So that's a really critical part of our growth strategy.
That's exciting.
One other thing I would add is that there's always opportunities for expansion. And there are, frankly, businesses that need help. And we are actually looking at some of those from an acquisition standpoint. Clearly, I can't talk about those specifically. But
that might be another podcast.
That as a matter of fact, we're looking at basically taking on. We've evaluated those in the past so that basically there's an ability to get more service, more customers, but to transfer the high touch quality service across the board.
Great. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, we appreciate the opportunity. International Minute Press in Mesa.
Where are you located?
We are at Southern and Clearview, very close to the Superstition Springs Vault. And we're very accessible from the 60, from all the main highways. You don't have to come in to do business with us. We work well over the web, and we actually work well over the phone.
What's your website address?
www.impmesa.com.
Great. And how can they call those capable people at International Minute Press?
480-325-9100.
Awesome.
Between the hours of 8 and 5, Monday through Friday.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much, Eric, for coming in today to join us on the Inside Business Podcast. You can find all of our episodes of the Inside Business Podcast at Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, or your own favorite podcast website. You can also find them online at mesachamber.org. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
You bet.